you shall receive.
Rock this.
Okay, so because you, for some reason, want to learn the combos of Caesar, here I am to tell you them. So, his combos consist of two. They're not really like full-blown combos. They're really just bread and butters. The first one is 4-on-1's Launcher, which is just that. It does decent damage. It's like probably a little bit less than 30, so like 20 to 25 if you get most of your hits. And the other combo is 4-on-1's Finishing Kick, which I believe is 31 damage. And there you go, pretty solid damage. Actually, this I look similar to that one, so that might actually be like 30 damage as well. So, yeah, that's it for his base combos. Moving on to his Awakening, which I'll be honest with you, not much changes. Okay, so his Awakening, I'll be honest with you, at the gates, doesn't really change much. It's still the same combo. You have 4-on-1's Bubble Storm, which is pretty decent damage. It's probably a little bit over 30 damage. Yeah, and then the other combo, it's literally the same. It's the same damage too. It's 15 plus 16, so it's still 31. I don't. Yeah, that's it for his Awakening. He doesn't have any other combos. You may say, oh, you can try to pair up Bubble Berry and well, 4-on-1's Bubble Berry or Bubble Cutter, something. Nope, it has N-Lag, so you can't even do that. I'm gonna just move on to his tips now. Okay, well, moving on to Caesar's tips. The tips really applied from Awakening to base as well. That's literally how copy and paste his moveset is. There's basically nothing different at all, and that's kind of sad, I'll be honest, but what can you do? My tips are, be very defensive. Caesar is a character where if you play aggressive, even if you get rewarded for it, the reward isn't good. Like at all. Like it's like he doesn't have the combos to back up getting rewarded for it. So it's like, what's the point of even playing aggressive, right? You're best off playing defensive. I'm not saying run, but I am saying if you're gonna play Caesar, you need to be a zoner, which means not playing overly aggressive, and making sure that you're staying at a mid-range. Right. And if your opponent comes towards you, punish them. You have Bubble Lens and Finishing Kick for that, but that doesn't mean that you need to be trying to go for it actively. It's kind of like a thing that you get at the right moment. And also, one last tip for Base and Awakening: when you do Bubble Cutter, gliding, don't be at dash range, and especially don't be close range, because their attack is cancelable from M1s, and even if they don't cancel it, they can easily block it and then roll and get a combo off on you. So, yeah, that is about it for my tips for his base. Moving on to his counterplay. Now, the counterplay for beating a Caesar is quite simple. It's literally just playing aggressive. He doesn't really have much to stop people who are playing aggressive besides Bubble Lens, which you can easily get out of by what I'm about to say. But not hard to avoid, and none of his other attacks are quite threatening. Now, if he does use Bubble Lens and you are right next to him while it happens, I would recommend you hold block and back up. And then when he comes towards you to use Finishing Kick, let go of block and simultaneously roll backwards, so that when he kicks you, you only take 15 damage and you roll out a Bubble Lens. So you don't take most of the damage from Bubble Lens, and you basically get out scot-free without getting guard broken. So yeah, I think that's about it. Just making sure you keep up the pressure, and when you encounter Bubble Lens, make sure you do that. Also, in Awakening, try to block mid-range, especially because Bubble Cutter, I say in base, just try to avoid the moves, but Bubble Cutter is P-blockable in Awakening, funny enough. So if he does bubble launcher or block, and if he does bubble cutter, try to PB it. It's important to get these timings down, so it's good practice against Caesars because they're basically a free one anyway. But if they somehow get awakening on you, try to PB it, and you basically get a free punish out of it. So yeah, that's about it. I'm only gonna be doing one match this video because Caesar and this video, well not this video, but the match is already long enough as is. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, let's move on to the match.
So I want to preface this now that this video, I'm not going to be giving a full commentary over the ranked match, and in fact, there's not even going to be a lot of ranked matches. I just thought this was a really good match, a very close match against a Josuke who played very cautious, which is understandable because Josuke is a very combo-heavy character now, but the match is repetitive. It's really just me zoning. I'm not running the match, but I'm not playing aggressive. He's not playing aggressive. When I do play aggressive, I get punished for it. So, yeah. I do want to say, I do appreciate it if you have watched this far. Like, literally, you watched a Caesar guide. And I know not one person who watches this video is ever going to use Caesar 1v1. So, I really appreciate it if you even just skip to this part because, I know I wouldn't want to watch 1 second of a Caesar guide for ranked 1v1s. Like, that's just setting yourself up for failure, basically. But, yeah, I really appreciate anyone who's watched this far. Make sure you like something, hit that bell if you haven't already. And, yeah. The reason why I made this guide, first of all, someone asked for it, and I didn't get any comments on what guides I should make. Next one's probably going to be Dio Brando. But, I didn't get any guides, well, not guides. I didn't get any suggestions for what I should be using. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to, but I'm going to make a Caesar guide anyway in the future, so I might as well get it out now. You feel me? Because I plan to make a tier list for skill, like how hard they are to use, viability, like how good the character is overall, and an awakenings tier list for every awakening in the game, not just the old tier list. So there is that. And before I do make those tier lists, I want to make sure that I make a guide about every character first, so you can see why I feel about each character. And if you disagree with anything, you can go back and check one of those videos and see how I was using the character to tell me if I was using them wrong or anything like that. So let's talk about Caesar, right? So I see a lot of people say Caesar needs nerfing, Caesar needs nerfing, Caesar needs nerfing, and I understand like Lens probably should be like single target or just, I don't know, maybe hit like 2 people at most, but people saying, oh, he needs a nerf on his projectiles or anything like that, I don't understand that because the rest of his kit kind of sucks. You could say, sure, projectile delay. That's only like if you're standing right there and the projectiles pass by you and you're holding block, you're going to have to hold block for longer because the projectile delay. But if you roll to the right, the projectile delay isn't going to hit you because it's delayed. The delayed hitbox isn't going to affect you if you're already rolled out of the way. So I don't see why people always ask, a nerf for that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, right? So, yeah, and the thing is, Go has said in the Discord that the game's balance, the focus of the game's balance is ranked 1v1s. It is not casual public match or whatever you want to call it, right? It is ranked 1v1s. So it's kind of hard to make a character balanced, right? Not like OP in publics, but it's hard to make characters relatively balanced in both because a character like Okuyasu, who was really OP in 2v2s, he kind of sucked in publics and 1v1s because he just didn't have that good of a kit. And now that's even more so the case after he got his nerf. So he's still okay in 2v2s, but he's just really not that good. And it's hard to find like a balance between that, right? So with Caesar, he has one really good move for publics and a really good move for 2v2s also, of course, because it covers a large area. But for 1v1s, it really isn't that great. So it's kind of hard to find a balance between them. His awakening isn't even like that OP or anything like that, so it's like, bro, what do you do? So I understand why Goat hasn't just immediately nerfed Lens or the rest of his kit, because, well, in my opinion, the rest of his kit doesn't need to be nerfed since it's already pretty weak. And Bubble Lens is his kind of his only strong move. Take that away, he literally has nothing for any of the game modes, and he's easily the worst character in the game. And already he's not that great, so yeah. You can see in the video, literally I have to rely on 1 and 2 because when I throw out gliding, it just leaves me really open to get punished, and it's only a good punish tool. If I try to throw it out, it's easily blocked. 4 doesn't have the greatest range, 1 and 2 are easy to avoid, and Bubble Lens is also easy to avoid if you're just constantly on the lookout for it. So, not even, if you just have a grab ready, you roll and hold block and then roll like I specified in the guide, it's not that hard of a move to avoid. So it's mostly rant, quote unquote, was mostly targeted at people who say that Caesar's OP when he's really not. He has one good move in Publix, and that's about it. The rest of his kit isn't even that good. And it has a global cooldown already, so and it has a long cooldown at that. So I don't really see how Caesar is that great. In my opinion, I get that Ledge is really good, but um, I think he honestly needs to be either reworked or buffed because the rest of his kit is very weak. And I understand, like I said, maybe make Glenn single target, but the rest of his kit is just kind of doo-doo. So I don't really feel like commenting on this match because it's honestly really boring in my opinion, and there's not much going on. Like I said, it's just me zoning. But yeah, I will meet you guys back to close out the video. This video will only have one ranked match because I might have already said this, but it's already a very long video. Another match would bring it to like 30 plus minutes. I think this one is probably going to be like 20-ish. So yeah, with that, I'll see you at the end of the video to close this out. If you made it this far or just skip to the end, I really want to say I appreciate it because you easily could have just clicked off the video. Um, Next one is really up to you guys. Otherwise, I'm gonna do just Dio Brando. But if you have any suggestions for what characters I should be using in the next video, please let me know in the comment section down below. If you did appreciate the video, please like, sub, or hit that bell. And yeah, without any further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.